think I'm on. I think I can hear myself speaking. Hi baby cakes, please edit this nicely. Don't make me look like a twat. Good morning. Fancy seeing you here again. Today we're not we. Today's going to be a bit different. It's just me, all on my lonesome, in a lockup, looking after Dora. And I have been sent with a camera. Hi. Under strict instructions that I film what I do. So we'll see how this goes. But today I am going to hopefully finish painting the bathroom, and between coats I've got another couple of jobs. So come on in and let's see what we're going to do today. Here we are, she's looking good. The electrics are still working, the lights are still on. He's done a good job for when we need it. Our Haynes manual. Battery's at 80%, which is all good. And then that is today's job, the bathroom. It's a bit dark in here, and I didn't bring the spare lights today, so I'll be working in dark. We've opened the window up, give us a little bit more light. Might have to use my phone torch. But yeah, so today's job, I'm going to remove this shelf, hopefully. Paint the walls, paint the cupboards. Put the shelf back on if it's dry. I have got, if I have time, let's see, we're going to have to replace this light. Although I think that's just my mum. If I've got time, I have some vinyl wallpaper for there. A lot of people have said, don't wallpaper it, because if you wallpaper it, you'll struggle. I think that's my husband phoning me. It is. Hey Mr. Messner, you're on camera, because I was just filming, you see, because you made me do work. Okay. But you know, that's fine. I'm going to turn my camera off and then I'll do your job, okay? Alright, love you, bye. Bye. What I didn't do last time is prime these doors, so I'm going to do that now. And then hopefully by the time I put a coat of paint on, they'll be ready to repaint. I'm so glad I decided to take them off though, because it's just so much easier doing it this way. And the paint doesn't run. And get streaky paint runs down your doors. Looks alright that, doesn't it? I have got a smaller brush to do this, but I haven't got the means to clean brushes here. And I might need the smaller brush for doing the final coat of paint, so I am using a bigger brush for this. It's doing a job, so it seems very alien, although I talk to myself a lot, to talk to a camera. Normally I've got Paul asking questions or doing stuff. He's around in the background, well, although he's annoying me being around in the background, I guess, today. But he just said I had to jabber on and keep talking. So I'm going to stop jabbering. No one needs to listen to a woman jabber on, do they? I'm going to crack on with this. I'll film for a minute so he's got some B-roll if he needs it. And yeah, I'll come back when I'm doing something more fun. Very sticky. Everything's very sticky because it's been primed. Remove that shelf, and then we have some paint going on the walls, and the walls are going to be in this beautiful teal. It's going to be a very girly bathroom because, like I said, in the van I've had to pee in front of Paul and the dogs, and this is my space. Cupboards are going to be white. I've got a new blind to go up here. I think that's the major transformation, and then there's just a few, and then the wallpaper, which is not wallpaper, and I'm not using wallpaper paste or paper. I have sticky back plastic basically that looks pretty. But yeah, let's see if we can remove this shelf. Right, it's got some little tabs underneath the shelf that I've already removed. And then underneath there's some screws that are screwed in at an angle. This is actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So that's all good. Let's hope it comes off easy. You know what I should have done is brought my specs with me, because I can't see. Alright, let's put the screws there, because they're different size screws to everything else, so we don't want to lose them. Otherwise, where am I going to put my plants and stuff? I've put those screws in some masking tape so I know where they are, and then go with everything else that belongs in here so I don't lose it. And hopefully this will just then pop off. Ta-da! Clever girl, aren't I? Right. That's just for Mr. Mester. We have gone for tough and washable paint, which is matte. Although I'm fairly sure I wanted silk, but this will do. So that should work in here. We aren't going to be using the shower, so this room isn't going to get steamy. So there's not going to be a lot of moisture in here anyway. Don't tell Paul that I'm using a screwdriver to mix my paint. Alright, once this goes on, there's no going back, is there? So, ooh, that's quite dark. I've got to be brave and cut in here. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to paint. I'm quite impressed with that. I'm not going to lie. I was going to roller this, but I think it's probably easier with a paintbrush. It's not a very large space, is it? Well, it might take me a bit longer. It'll be a damn sight less messy. With a bit of luck, this might only need one coat. I might even get finished today. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? There are a couple of really tiny, hard to reach. So I've brought myself a little acrylic paintbrush from home. So I can do it properly. This camera apparently isn't very good in low light. So I'm not sure if this is any good. I'm hoping Paul put the stabilisers back on this properly when he, because that felt a bit wobbly. And I think when cutting in, the trick is not to breathe. It seems to be working so far. No major mistakes. Didn't we have a lovely time the day we went to Bangor? I have discovered while doing this, filming malarkey, because I don't normally do this, Paul does this. So this is the first time, in fact this might be the only video that there's just me in it, unless he pops along later. Add something at the end, because he can't pop along, I've stolen his car. Is filming is harder than I thought, and it takes twice as long. I always wonder why it takes him so long to do something. and it's because you've got to stop, move the camera, do things. It's really irritating. And I'm one of these people that just wants to crack on and get on with it. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to turn you off for a bit actually, and I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting to watch. This is also a really bad angle. See ya. We'll see what that looks like when it's dried. I'm quite pleased with that. And now, I don't know what time it is, but it might be time for me to have some lunch. Or maybe just crack on and paint some other stuff. So far, all I've done is painted the wall and the ceiling. It's taken longer than anticipated, but I think all these jobs are going to. I also couldn't talk to you with my mouth full, should I? Sorry. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to give these cupboards their first coat of paint. I've got some white eggshell. Then we'll see if the bathroom needs another coat. I'm hoping it doesn't, but it looks like it's drying a bit patchy. I think if I can get the painting done today and maybe that wallpapering, then that's a good day's work, isn't it? I think the problem with being here by myself is there's no shit chat to have with Paul. It's just me on my lonesome eating pickled cabbage. That's pickly. I could tell you a little bit more about me and Paul, couldn't I, really? And why we decided to embark on a life with Dora. Dora is my project. Some of you may know Paul from his other channels. He's got Paul Messner and Hike Camp Cook, which is what he's working on today. But Dora's my project because I'm turning 50 this year and I need to stop talking and eating. I want a caravan. He loves camping, he loves our camper van, he loves being outdoors. But the van was starting to be challenging. When we first bought the van, we bought it in lockdown, and it was a project for him because he was going like stir crazy, not being able to get out. And we loved it, we loved travelling, but when we bought it and planning for it, we didn't have 2 doggies, which came along just after. So we got Reggie just before the van was finished. I'm really sorry if you can't hear me as well, it's really windy today and banging all the doors. And yeah, we were, lost my train of thought now. It's because Paul just sent a message. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, we were saying van. Mabel came along a year later, and we've had great adventures in the van, but it's too small. The dogs have got like a metre squared to lay in, and we have the bed up constantly because it's a real pain to put the bed up every night and take it down. So not that there would be much more space if we did that, because it's only a medium wheel-based van. And we've been on a couple of trips with Adam and Laura and James and Michelle, Paul's brother and sister-in-law, and it just seemed better for us to have a caravan so that we could have a base. We've got the car because we were relying on other people giving us lifts to places, or we were stuck if we were on our own. And we need a bit more space for the dogs. So when the opportunity came up to buy Dora, I'm not going to lie, I bullied Adam into it and convinced Paul that it was the best idea ever, on the pretense that this was my 50th birthday present, since we've got her. So she's my project, really. There are things I can't do and things that Paul are going to do, but what she's going to do is give us a bit more freedom, because when Paul goes off camping, I'm stuck at home, whereas with Dora, he can go off camping while I'm in Dora, so we can go up to Scotland for a few days and I can stay in the van with the dogs, and it doesn't mean that he's away for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, however long he goes up there for. but actually he's away for a couple of days while I'm also on holiday. So that's the reason we've got her. And the reason I'm painting now is because I want to. Because I want it to be a home away from home. I want to put a bit of our personality. I'm not gonna lie, Paul is not teal and flowers. Paul would happily have her as she is, or more modern. But I wanted to put a stamp on her. So that's why we've got Dora. That's why I'm doing her up. And she's going to go on many adventures, and hopefully we're going to have her for years and years and years. I'm going to crack on with my lunch, and I'm going not to eat it in front of you. And I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting to say. I have tidied the bathroom, put all the paintbrushes away, ready to take home and clean. And the doors are still too tacky for me to pick up. So I thought I'd do one more job while I was here. And that is to put some tiles above the cooker and have a little splashback. So I'm using adhesive peel and stick wall tiles. I'm not gonna lie, these were cheap as chips. These were from Poundland. Although Poundland stuff is no longer a pound, I think they were £3 a pack. I have used them before on other projects and they've worked a treat, but it's an inexpensive way. So if it doesn't work, it's not really the end of the world. But I thought we would give it a go. The original colour for the van was going to be green, and actually it goes quite well because the worktop's green, so that'll look quite nice. I just need to cut these to size and then stick them on the wall. Now, it would be easy to start at one side and do this, but I don't want the tiles looking off, so let me just like that. There we go. So it might actually work. Oh, perfect. 3 fits perfectly. Nice and easy to cut. Let's hope I'm doing it straight. No guides on the back. That would have been nice and straight. No, it wouldn't, let's be honest. But there's a little lip around the edge of that. Just to there. Oh, I don't think I've got a marker on me. But it is that bit. I need to line them up before I stick them down, don't I? I'm really glad Paul's not here because actually he'd probably telling me not to do this. But I think we can all agree it's going to look good when it's done. I did sugar soak this the other day when I was cleaning the bathroom, so it should stick nicely. Let's hope I've lined these all up properly because it's going to be a right pain if I haven't. This is where I hope the caravan's straight, because that's what I'm using as my guide. This line here. I think that is the last piece. Stuck, it's really hard to reposition it, so let's try and get this right first time. I really like that. Do I go higher? Or just leave it as it is? Fucking bumblebee getting me. Let's see if I've shrunk the curtains. The smaller one. That one goes in there. Nice fit. After washing them, I realised that it said dry clean only. And they looked a little bit smaller when I put them on the line, so I'm not shrunk them. Excellent. At least I've not shrunk these ones. That was nice and easy to go back on as well. I bought a couple of covers for the sofa, and I wasn't sure whether either of them, if any of them, would actually go. I don't hate the green. Not quite sure it goes with the rest of it. That's what happens when you buy things before you've fully decided on what you're doing. I blame my sparkliness. And that's my other choice, which I hate. So that's not coming in my van. Now I just have to decide if I'm going to use any at all. I think I'm leaning towards that beautiful pattern there. I'm just not letting the dogs on the sofa. It's not been a full waste though, because the van needs new covers regardless of whether we're keeping it or not. So we'll do that. Right, the paint's dry. I've put the tables away. I might just have a quick cuppa and say goodbye to you. I think that's it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you if you're still here for joining me on my first video. I feel like I've got a lot done today, although probably not, and what you've seen has been 2 days of work, and I've enjoyed it, although slight regrets on painting the bathroom, if I'm honest. Not because it doesn't look great, it does look great, but I think it's going to need at least another couple of coats on the cupboards, but that's fine because it'll look pretty at the end of it. I have missed Mr. Messner today, so I'm sorry that there's no shit chat at the end of this video. There's just me, but I've enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get out in Dora. In the next video, you're probably just going to see Mr. Messner sorting the brakes out. I've no idea what he's going to do with that. I don't think he knows what he's going to do with that. It'll be fun finding out, I suppose. But hopefully by the end of the month, Dora will be on the road and we will be able to enjoy her. The more time I spend here, the more time I don't want to go home. So thank you very much for joining me on this one. I hope to see you again soon, and next time maybe, fingers crossed, we will be on an adventure. Bye.